Today I left a 5-star review for this place called Beans and Buns, I think it's called. It's in Patuxent.
Oh, I thought. Okay, that sounds like such a Patuxent Village place.
Yeah, Patuxent Village place.
Beans and Buns.
So I went in. Never been there before. That's where I was meeting the lawyer I told you about. And it was really good, the sandwich. Like, it was a grilled chicken with avocado. But what I liked best was the guy's service. He gave me a free bag of chips. Didn't ask for it, nothing. I was ready to pay for it. I had the $2 out. He's like, no, it's fine, on the house. I'm like, okay, all right. Yep. You didn't have to do that. I'm saying I did spend $40, but
$40. Should have given you.
Well, I paid for both of us. I paid for both of us.
Bag of potatoes,
like $20 each. But nonetheless, then I saw him helping this old lady, and I know it sounds cliche.
Dude, that was a plant.
A real life
that was all
cliche, though.
setup.
But like literally, the guy helped the old lady cross the street.
He's like, watch this. I'm gonna suck this 5-star review out of this guy. Watch this.
Imagine.
Check the vantage point. You can see me, right?
He probably knew I was there to give him a review.
Yeah, right. He's like, this guy looks like he reviews.
No, he
looks like a reviewer.
Yeah. He's like, this guy's gonna f you if you don't. You better give everyone a bag of chips.
This guy looks like he got a lot of followers. He got his Instagram on his car. Like,
enjoy your clams, cocksuckers.
Mr. Clam talking. You know anything about clams? The press finds out about these bad clams. That's a bad clam, all right.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to episode, we think, 60 of Clam Cakes. I'm Jared.
And I'm Joe. This episode's 60. It's pretty exciting. We have a guest today.
Yeah, this is our first guest who isn't like just a friend. I got a list of all the stuff he does.
My first thought was our first adult guest.
He's, well, that's
Would you
rude
think,
to the
why?
other guests.
No.
Well, because we're all in our 30s.
Shite. All right, yeah, you're right.
All right, so our mystery guest, he's an entrepreneur, owns a security company.
Okay.
On my notes, I put a grocery store, and Joe asked, "Is he a grocery store?"
Yeah.
No, he also owns a grocery store.
We cleared up that confusion real quick.
He's written 3 books. Helps people with credit because I'm a toddler. That's what I wrote. And he's launching his own tequila brand called Privilege. Yeah. Welcome to the podcast,
ladies and gentlemen. The Rock.
Carlos. Dramata.
Ladies and gentlemen, Dwayne Johnson.
the Pebble, maybe that guy's fucking
no. Ladies and gentlemen, Carlos. Carlos,
pod.
Introduce yourself.
Yeah, so my name's Carlos. Then it really is my last name. So a lot of people, like
good last name.
They wait and they're like, then what?
That's funny. You know what I was saying? I was saying Mr. Ago.
Mr. Ago.
Mr. Twas.
I went on an interview and the manager's name was Nice. And I was like, "Hi, I'm Jared." And he was like, "I'm Nice." And I went, "Haha." And he was like, "No, that's my name." Oh, crap, dude. I did get the job, though.
That's pretty
good. Congratulations.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, you're good. You're good. I like going with the flow of things. So, again, my name's Carlos Then. A lot of people know me as Mr. Then. That's kind of the moniker that I came up with.
Mr. Then.
And, it's something that I came up with... when I kind of started doing the consulting thing.
It is your actual name, though.
Yes. So it is my actual name. I did have to copyright it just because,
Really?
Yeah, just because, people trying to steal my website and things like that. So...
Yeah, we have to copyright our...
Yeah.
What is the legal precedence of...
We're getting right into it, folks.
Precedent of, it's your name?
Yeah, so, of course it's my name, but it's also my brand.
But imagine if you... were Mr. Casciati, and I'm like, that's my last name, and you're like, nah, you didn't copyright.
But there's no brand, Mr. Casciati.
So there's other competing.
I know stuff.
People that want Mr.
Not that there's other competing as of right now, but there's people that unfortunately, we live in a day and age where intellectual property can be stolen. So stealing domain names, things like that. There's hackers
with that last name. Yeah.
There's hackers that will go and they'll literally go ahead and try to steal even things that sound like yours. Like they might do Mr. Gen, they'll get Mr. Gen.com.
Or like when websites have
they'll buy Facebooks.com. So if you go to the wrong,
So then what they'll do is they'll create fake versions of your website.
Right, yeah.
And people think that they're on your website when when they're surfing.
Info.
And I work in an area that gets people sensitive information. So, I don't want somebody to go to somebody's website or go to somebody's fake Instagram account or go to somebody's, fake version of me, basically,
And think it's you.
and think it's me.
Right, yeah.
And then I have a situation where, oh man, this person gives me a bad review because
It's not. Yeah, it's not even you.
Yeah.
That would suck.
And the amount of time it would take to like prove yourself.
Did I tell you someone took a credit card out in my name recently?
Yes, you did.
Yeah, but
And
luckily,
he had a wait, say your joke. Jared's very funny off the cuff.
what was my joke?
You said
The limit was higher than my current credit card limit. I was
He's
like,
wish
should I
that-
just keep this?
I know,
Should just
I
keep
know.
the credit?
Open another one.
But I guess I could just get that limit because it was in my name. But it was like through Chase. It wasn't like my bank account. Thank
Yeah.
God. So they shut that down.
Wait, so this guy basically just showed you that you could you could raise your credit limit.
And then also I got an email. It was like, you need to verify that this is like you first. So they were not good at that.
So I mean, I deal with a lot of people who have had their either identity stolen or like had some situation where, either a relative or somebody that they know got some hold of their information and unfortunately used it to open up a credit card or something like that.
Was that you?
What are you pointing at me for?
You took a credit card out in my name?
Why would I need a credit card?
That's true. Dude, and then
Your
while
name.
I'm calling, like, to get it fixed, and I'm on the phone with this guy, and I'm like, is this a scam? Is the guy I'm on the
No,
phone
it's
with
all-
a
the
scam?
whole thing is a
Because he
scam.
asked me for my social security number, and I'm like, oh, dude, I'm not supposed to give that out,
My
right?
credit limit is like $30,000, and I'll tell you this: I'm me.
He
There's
doesn't know.
a
He doesn't know
company-
you very.
That was like, you're more responsible than him.
Wow.
No, my.
How funny is that, dude? They're
No
wrong.
one said that.
That's what they said.
don't know me well
That's
enough,
exactly
dude.
what it means. That's what's
They'll
credit.
get to
I have
know
more
me.
credit than you. They give me more credit for something I don't know what it is.
Well, apparently, I have more credit I can use.
Well, we gotta ask this guy.
Anyway, so we're interested. Like, how do you get started as an entrepreneur? Like, did you go to school for that? Or?
Did I go to school?
I don't
for
like.
that?
Is that? I'm
That's
kind
I
of-
mean, it's a great question.
I'm kind of
Counterintuitive.
confused by entrepreneurs. To be
You don't,
honest.
but that's like the point of it.
because it's like
Oh, I'm actually also an entrepreneur. Did you not know that?
that's what I'm saying. I'm like, he's the same as you.
Sometimes I'll make hypothetically $100 a month, and it's like I'm not, and it's you don't
Tax
start
deductible.
there. You have to get there. What it is
okay.
like you take the path, but the path doesn't take you.
That's
Continue.
true.
You know
Now
what I
you
mean.
now
Yeah.
So how did you?
take
So
the
how
path,
did
but
you
the
get
path doesn't
started
take
with
you.
that?
I mean, as far as how I got started, I guess it really was like when I really started my entrepreneur journey was in college, and
That's kind of right.
And, I was literally just in my room doing my taxes. I had self-taught myself to do taxes. And I had just finished up. My roommate walks in and
Through TurboTax or like actually
TurboTax, yeah.
Okay,
TurboTax. And my roommate walks in and he's like, oh, you know how to do your taxes? And I'm like, yeah, don't you? And that's when the
Organic.
light bulb
You'd be
switched.
surprised, yeah. Like people don't know
Nice.
how to use technology. So it's like it's like a skill you have to help.
So
people
you're
with.
so you got started in entrepreneurship just organically. Someone asked you for something. Someone asked you for a service you happen
You're
to
like,
already
oh, I
know
know how to
do.
do this.
Yeah, so, I mean, I made $50 in 5 minutes. So I saw the potential
bad.
Yeah.
and was like, okay, yeah, I can do this.
Scale
I can
that.
do this for a lot of people. And literally it was just inputting their information, especially in college. Like we didn't have like complex returns where it was like,
It's like, do you have healthcare?
do you have, not even that, but like just
One.
like, do you have a home or do you
Yeah.
have
Yeah.
investments? Do you have, a business, things like that. So it wasn't difficult. And
Sometimes I say I'm from the Pacific Islands.
That's good. That's not gonna catch up with you.
That's not anything, right?
You have to ask.
To be
him, dude.
honest, that's not Hawaii. Is it Hawaii? It's not Hawaii. I know I'm not from Hawaii. I know the Pacific Islands are not Hawaii.
So you
Yes.
think you're good?
Click the bubble.
All right. Well, that's wrong.
So
Let me
listen.
tell you that much.
So
Wait, but go. He wasn't done.
well, I have a question. Okay. Okay. I mean, well, organically is how it happened for you, essentially.
Right, but then how did you? How did you?
Oh, how did it, like,
go
launch?
from that to?
I mean, then after that, literally I got on the computer and I started doing some, thankfully, the internet exists.
Yeah.
So I started like searching things. I built a website on GoDaddy. I had like a template,
Cool.
put it up.
Okay.
I put I at the time Google Voice had just launched and they were giving away like free numbers. I looked up and to this day I still use that number. It's 401-267 and then I put my last name in there, then THEN, which is
Oh.
8436. Snatched up that number
That's pretty cool.
and I put it on like the web pages, like how like they have like those graphics that pop up.
Yeah.
So like a pop up would come up and it'd be like text this number to get your
Yeah,
taxes.
I know what you mean. Yeah.
oh
And
shit.
I put that homepage on every computer in the library at URI.
Dude, when I think of an entrepreneur, that's what I think
cool.
they're doing, like guerrilla marketing. They're getting it. Mark Cuban would be like, yes, 100 million or whatever for it.
So you're describing things that seem very easy, but I know from looking at them, the intricacies.
I don't think it's about the ease of it.
Well, no, I'm saying something about doing something you don't know about, something about venturing into the unknown. Like, I'm a capable person, and that I've made tried to make a website, tried in my head. It's been in my head for years, and I just feel like the barrier to entry is too high. But like, to make a website is a very simple thing.
I have used Dreamweaver.
I mean, nowadays it's a lot simpler than how it would be with, like, for example, if you were actually coding everything and writing all that stuff.
I'm a software developer. That's
Yeah, so I started off my college career, I guess you could say, in engineering, and
cool.
we learned a lot of that stuff. So I knew about it enough to kind of
Computer engineering,
Right, yeah.
Yeah, well, I did civil engineering, but we still had to take like courses on all of them in the beginning.
Yep.
What is civil engineering?
It has
it
to
like
do with like
city
buildings
planning?
and
Okay,
city
yeah,
planning
okay.
and stuff like that. But then
That's cool.
when I got to like Calc 300, Calc 400, I was like, nah, fuck that. And I switched to a bachelor's of science in economics with a minor in international relations.
So we were actually talking about this before. The math you said is when you kind of hit your limit school wise, where you weren't interested in that.
It just got to a level that I was literally like having nightmares and like.
So we were talking about like an entrepreneur has like a set of skills. It's not a job. It's not something you like study for.
Yeah.
But a boss has
'cause I was
applicable
saying,
skills.
It's like an entrepreneur is someone who like runs a business or like multiple businesses, but you don't necessarily have to be an expert
In
the
that field.
And that's what I always found like fascinating about entrepreneurs. So like what is it about someone where they can run
What do
any
you think
business?
the skills necessary to lead something? I was saying delegation, just being able to
I thought it was
cool
like
under
finance.
pressure.
It's a combination of things. In my first book that I wrote called Learn, Drop the L and Earn.
Instagram. Boom.
Drop the L and earn. That's literally like where I kind of break that down. So in a nutshell, basically it explains to you how to go from the employee mindset, which a lot of people have, because you're trained that in school. That is what school is designed to create employees. To transition you into the entrepreneur's mindset. And there's a few things that entrepreneurs tend to do, but the biggest thing I would say is that they know how to solve problems.
Okay.
So being a problem solver, regardless of what your skill set is the most key thing to being an entrepreneur. Because even if you don't know how to solve something, you'll find a way to do it.
It's like being the president. Like you don't know, all the intricacies of the country, but you know who to hire.
Specifically, I found
He's the president.
I feel that I'm very
basically.
hands-on, like me specifically, just because of everything I've done, and it's not like a benefit or like a list in my lexicon, like my skills. It's more like where I thrive, like chaos, and that's what kind of brought me to entrepreneurship, which is I've never done more work not having a job in my life.
Yeah.
I do more work wholeheartedly, unequivocally than when I had a job where I worked 40 hours a week.
Yeah.
And it's stressful and there's risk involved. There's like, you know what I mean? Like there's actual, I don't know, the risk. It's like, and I think like that's what you
That's
have
why
to thrive in if you're an
could-
entrepreneur.
I think that's what scares me the most. I am so bad with like taking risks and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't think I could ever do it.
Well, I mean, one of the things about it is, you can really screw everything up and put yourself in a hole if you try to go on a journey of entrepreneurship and you have no safety net. Like you can.
That's exactly what's happening to me right now.
You can go broke really fast, especially if you're not making money how you used to when you had something that was secure like a job.
Yeah.
So
That's the job.
Yes. Oh, got it. Yeah.
Or
like
just over broke.
Like from the Bible.
Just over broke. Yeah.
Yeah, like his wife turned to salt. Yeah, I know.
Yes.
I get it.
Job.
I mean,
That's what you're going for.
Yeah, that's what I was
I
going
got
for.
a
Yeah.
joke.
So I know you started it with the tax thing, but looking back and now, what do you think is the best entry field for entrepreneurship?
I mean,
Taking everything into account, what you need to like support being an entrepreneur.
Yeah, so I mean, in order to be an entrepreneur, I would say these days, a phone is crucial. So a phone. Anybody who has a phone can basically be an entrepreneur nowadays.
Yeah, you're a hustler. Yeah.
Yeah.
You need a phone. That's some. Yeah.
You're a hustler.
Okay.
You need two phones.
It's true though. Like literally, you put that thing in your hands. All you need is a data plan, no pun intended, and and you can go ahead and you can look things up. You can start a page. You can do most of the things that you need to do. You can reach out to people. Having an Instagram is free. A lot of people have started businesses. They don't even have a website, and they have an Instagram and they sell things. Why? Because it allows them to connect with people they otherwise wouldn't have met. My first clients were from like California. Nobody from Rhode Island fucking supported me when I first started. But
Yeah. No one supports us either from Rhode Island.
We're on the same page.
but it's one of those things that I personally didn't get upset about. One of the things I like to think about is, most of the people that know you and have known you for most of your life, you can't necessarily be mad at them for not supporting you, at least right away. Although, you can feel a certain type of way, but think about it this way. Like, these people have known you from when you were a kid. And let's say, for example, like, you were a drug dealer. Just an example.
He wasn't a drug dealer. Well, he was, buddy. But move it. Go ahead.
How are you going to solve me and then take away my credit at the same time?
I don't
Jesus
know.
Christ.
What do you want me to do here? Did you
Stop
sell drugs or
pointing at
didn't
me.
you?
Continue.
But, okay, look, that's the case. And then all of a sudden, now you're fixing people's credit. It's like, people are going to be like hesitant.
And like the whole market. I mean, like we were talking about you. Like now that I've met you, you're different. But I mean, the type of Instagram you have, the view, there's a shit ton of them.
Yeah.
And bro, 7 years ago, I was the guy that sent $200 to an Instagram account because they said they could turn it to $600.
Did you really?
Yup, because I was broke as a bad joke, a dope addict. I've never been that. And my uncle gave me the money because he was like, "You're not going to understand until you learn this lesson." And I've
Guess
never
what? That
forgot.
person was an entrepreneur.
Yeah,
Who took
literally.
that money from
So like
you?
with that whole vibe, with that whole market, of, you know what I mean? There's a lot of scammers out there. It's also
that's tough.
You know what I mean?
I mean, the thing about social media, it has its pluses and it has its minuses. Yeah. Unfortunately, a lot of people can go ahead and create like, these situations where it looks like it's too good to be true. And oftentimes it is.
That's the
I feel
biggest
like it
lesson I've
always
ever
is.
learned.
Yeah.
So when something is too good to be true, gotta agree with your uncle there. Yeah, it's because it is. Yeah, he was. You very unlikely that you'll make $1 million overnight.
Yeah. So to that point, I've found, I think we're finding with the podcast and with my side business, like it's just time.
Yeah.
It's like the consistency is not anything unless the statistic requires a length of time. It's like you have to be doing things for. So would you say that is the most important thing inside of
I would say that and legitimate like referrals as well as legitimate like reviews.
Okay.
So like you can go real quick and see something and you can tell whether or not the reviews are fake for the most part.
Right.
Yeah, 100%.
They're not going to be very specific. They're not going to like go in on into detail. They're going to actually not often not. No, it's the opposite.
How many exclamation points though are you going to put? 4? Okay.
You're
a calculator.
You think that's a sign of
You're a calculator. 4 exclamation points. What are you doing?
what kind of calculator?
I'm saying they're a
me
robot.
needs a robot. Yeah.
A TIA.
I picked up what you were putting down. No worries. So yeah, I mean, with things like that, like bots and this day and age where like they have robots to do everything. It's definitely something that you have to be careful. Scamming is something that I don't personally agree with.
Imagine he was like,
What a crazy stance you just took.
He's like, I'm
very
a
brave
scammer.
of you to take that stance.
I mean, I don't knock people's hustles.
But some people might say like make money however you can make money. You know.
You know what I'm saying? That's why I can't hate it, bro. Like I can't.
But like it's just it doesn't align with me morally.
Yes.
You know what I
Right.
mean?
Yes.
Like I wouldn't rob somebody. I wouldn't
Yes.
hurt somebody unless they hurt me.
But like
Right,
respecting and understanding the hustle, I think is like you understand what people will do for money.
Right, yeah.
And it's like a lot of
People need
people
to eat, man.
But a lot of people don't understand desperation.
Yeah.
And like once you realize that and you realize it exists in other people, then you start to kind of see things through what's the opposite of a rose-colored glass? Fucking fuchsia. So I'm like,
A fuchsia colored glass.
fuchsia, you know what I'm saying? So like with everything you've learned, with all like the scammers, with all like all the noise that's around you, what is one tenet that if you stick to, you will be successful?
I mean, in my personal opinion, I think going ahead and giving. So like I try to provide a lot of value. I have a giver's mindset. I give away keys all the time. That's why my logo on the Mr. Then.
What do you give it? What does that mean?
Kilos,
Like key.
birds. He's like chickens, bro. Come on.
Nah, I mean like a literal like key, like
Okay.
key to open doors because
Okay,
doors
alright,
are
yeah,
considered
gotcha.
opportunity and
I was like, you're giving away keys to houses, dude? That's crazy.
You just got sunned. How do you
nah, yeah. So I mean, with things like that, the more
Gratitude,
the
I
more
guess, like-
knowledge and things like that that you have, the better people will be, and like people see value. Like in my line of work, like helping people with like credit and like their finances and things like that. That's not typically the type of place that I expect reviews from. A lot of people are very personal about that. They don't want to go ahead and let people know that they even had a credit issue.
Exactly. Yep.
Right.
So like I don't expect and I don't ask for reviews from people. So when they go ahead and they give me a review, I appreciate that. Like that's something that they did because they saw value in what I provided for them, and they want to go ahead and share that with other people,
Especially
people
when
that
you're
might need it.
creating, well, not creating, but it's your service, it's your skill that you've honed.
Yeah.
When
Right,
people,
yeah.
when people are like respecting something that you've created, it's fire.
I gotta imagine you've probably gotten some negative comments, some negative reviews.
Oh, yeah.
What it like? Yeah, we do too. What does that make you
What?
like? Yeah, we get thumbs down.
Yeah, but they're talking about you.
We posted today. We posted a TikTok. Someone said this sucks.
Yeah, but that guy didn't know. Come on, that's different. We had a guy post.
Is a troll? Is a troll?
I'll show you after
We
this.
had a guy
Post like
6
a book
paragraphs.
about what we need
college
to do
essay.
to improve our podcast.
really weird too, and
You know what? Did you read it though?
I did read it.
Sent it to
Because
me.
you care.
Yeah, exactly.
Because
So,
you
Motherfucker
care.
sent it to me. Okay,
so
I-
what is? Does
do
that make
care.
you feel some type of way when you get like negative
Bro,
reviews? Do you
no,
take it?
listen, just take it. And
Yeah.
if it's good information, then do something
It
with
was.
it.
He told us we need to put out 4 podcast episodes a week.
it's pretty good, dude. That's good information.
That's good information.
Thank
I
you.
don't
How the fuck we
know.
got-
Did you say
I
thank you?
don't know if you can do it. Maybe you
send him a
pre-record
gift-
or
send him a
whatever.
gift
I've
basket.
never seen a
Send-
podcast
Jamie,
that
send him a
does
gift basket.
4 podcast
But like
episodes
listen
a
to
week.
this. Listen to this. Like I had written a book called I Give You Credit. And in that book, for some reason or another, I don't know when I was writing it, the font, I just left it. It was all caps.
Yo,
All
Screaming.
caps.
That's really funny. You said
how?
that. He'll tell you after.
I got a review. The review was like, I did not even read this, blah, 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 blah.
I read it
that,
like
and the
this.
thing. She's like, this book is terrible, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, but did you even read it?
She's like, no, I said I didn't.
That same night I got the review, I literally reformatted the entire book.
Because whose fault was that?
You know what's interesting? On that negative comment that we got, he said like we should put more work into it. Ever since then, I've been doing more editing on the podcast. So like, I
yeah,
guess
but he also said the podcast was about weed and dirty socks.
we said yeah because the episode he watched, Joe's socks were out.
Oh,
We didn't even
okay.
talk about weed.
the bottom of my socks are black because I'm actually out there. Okay,
They were dirty.
I'm
They
outside.
were pretty
I'm on the
dirty.
streets.
God damn it.
They were pretty dirty.
It's funny you said that though, because my dad actually wrote a book. He worked for NFL. He was the director of archives for NFL
Wow.
films. Yeah,
That's incredible.
yeah, and he so he wrote a book, and it's called Gridiron Gumshoe because he like
Okay.
was the
Put a picture up.
football. What is it? It's
Football
like it's
man.
a pun, I guess. So anyway, so I open it, and then there's like the dedication. It's in italics. And then I get to the blurb, it's in italics. And then I'm flipping, and it's in italics. And it's in italics.
Everything's
and
in
it's
italics. Yeah.
And the whole book is in italics. And I look closer, and I'm not like you know, a literary guy, but I
Yeah.
mean, quote, quote,
dude.
quote. And then I'm reading it and I'm like, I get why punctuation exists.
Yeah.
Because the arresting momentum of my mind. So then I call him, I'm like, it's all in italics. Like, why did you do it in italics? And he's like, I wanted to make it sound like I was talking. And I'm like, that's what an autobiography is, dude.
What does that even mean?
So
No, I mean, at
all
that point, he
caps,
should have just done an audiobook alongside it.
Yeah.
audiobook, dude. I mean, it
Italics
was written
makes me
like
think
the
you're talking to
audiobook.
me like this, like
It
the
would
whole
have sounded
time.
like the Peanuts teacher.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough, man.
I mean, I
It's
guess
tough.
it's true. People can't like absorb what you're
But
saying.
like,
It doesn't
but
matter.
like the thing about it is that I learned at least the most from that bad review, I guess you could say, was that you know you have to listen to your consumers,
Right.
Because at the end of the day, they're buying it. Now, you know, taking an opinion from like some jackass that's not going to buy anything from you, that's a different story.
Yeah.
But like if somebody she did purchase the book, now she didn't like it. I even offered to send her another one that was, you know, reformatted. Never responded. But if you're watching this, I still have it for
camera's right
you.
there.
I still have it
But
for
I'm
you.
saying, like, that's how much effort, that's how much interest she had.
some
Like, you
people
were
are
like,
just
okay,
haters.
I'll fix your problem. And then it's like, no, like, she just kind of wanted
Some people are just haters and they just
Yeah,
want to
dude.
hate. We
I mean-
are haters.
I mean, there was another person that commented, you know, like all the information in the book could have been, you know, found. And I'm like, no shit, Sherlock.
yeah.
like-
Where do you think I got it from? Like, I didn't make it up.
Yeah, like it's not information that I fucking just pulled out of my
Would you
ass.
rather be made it
Yeah.
up?
Like,
yeah.
but you know, like people just like, okay, well, you didn't have to look it all up. That's the point of the book. Like,
Yeah.
it condenses it all for you and puts it into something that you can use.
You
Right,
can never.
yeah. That's like when you
make
said
anyone
like
have
it
everyone
sounded
happy.
like some of the stuff you did it was easy. It's like, oh yeah, but do it then. Like you're not doing it.
No,
then.
I mean,
No, I know what you're saying. Like
I guess I'm speaking too specific to myself because I'm a narcissist, and guess what? You're all characters in my play. But yeah,
and he's speaking to us in
yeah,
italics.
because as long as I say that, if you just keep lying to yourself, it really doesn't matter if you're successful.
There we go.
It would have been more narcissistic if he did it in like the third person.
That's true.
That's
Yeah,
true.
that's
That's
true.
true. It would have been even more narcissistic if there was a second camera.
Maybe it's hidden.
It's in the toilet.
Hey, yo.
Hey, come on now. Quick word from our sponsors.
Oh,
We don't have sponsors.
okay.
I already gave it to you, didn't I?
Yeah, you did.
Cool. There we go. That was our word for our sponsors, dude. Bittersweets.
Do you have? Do you know how can we get? How do you get people to pay you for stuff? How do we get people to?
You have to be worth paying for, I guess.
I would say just go ahead and come up with sponsor packages.
See, I don't even know what the fuck that is.
Okay, see, okay. So
hell
actually,
is that?
speaking of this, because sponsor pack, you're saying things that are such good ideas that I know I like have my choice of which good idea he's talking about that I want to talk about. I want to talk about the one outside where you were talking about raffles.
Ah, yes.
And
So-
I would, if
The
you
hell
could
we gonna
talk about-
raffle?
Well, we were outside. We were speaking of how can we get more followers, and Carlos had a really good idea about raffles that kind of has stuck with me since. I
Yeah,
heard
so
it.
you know, he was asking me about, you know, how I had gotten some of my followers and, you know, if they were bots and this, that, and the third. And it's a question that I've gotten a few times.
He's being a real prick about it. Real fucking ass. That's the first thing he asked
That's
me.
fine. That's
No,
fine.
no. So it's completely real. So I went ahead and I was like, no, honestly, I mean, one of the ways that I built up some of my following was doing giveaways. So I'd given away a trip to like Egypt, given away like an Echo speaker, and just various things. But one of the other ways is getting involved in like these raffles that celebrities would do. So like essentially what it is like, you know, some of these pages with a lot of followers. My first one, not necessarily my greatest choice, happened to be you know, an Instagram model, aka stripper.
Little thick.
Little thick. Little thick.
Edward Thicker Hands. I got you, bro. I know.
Thicker
Yeah.
Hands.
And
I
you know,
she's at Kennedy Plaza. Yeah, I know.
you know, I had been following her and I saw that she was doing the thing, and you know, I DM'd her and she's like, okay, it's this much for like a slot, no pun intended. And,
Hey, man, that's two for you.
and you know, it went ahead and increased my following.
So what do you mean when you say so? Another account will have a raffle already, and you'll cross promote. You'll hit them up to promote it on yours.
So what they'll do essentially is they'll do something where it's like, okay, we're doing a raffle giveaway type of thing, and we're giving away this iPhone X at the time. I think it was something like that. Yeah. And they would say, all right, what you need to do is you need to follow everybody that this page is following. So like they'll have like
to be entered into the raffle.
They'll have like a particular page that's made for the raffle specifically. And the page will only have like the raffle information on there.
But the page has these has these guidelines. If you want to be entered, you have to follow.
Exactly.
So you kind of just use their format to increase your followers.
So what they do is they promote that, and they say to their followers, if you want to enter into this sweepstakes or whatever it is, you have to follow everybody that this page is following. The page will only be following the people who have bought slots.
So it's like you bought a slot, so it would follow. They would follow.
You buy a slot,
so
you get a follower.
So you would be one of the pages that the page is following, and then everybody who goes will be following that page.
So these are like pop-up accounts, essentially. Like they're gone after the raffle.
Well, see, I feel like
They'll reuse them, but like what they do is they'll
Okay.
unfollow them.
I feel like for stuff like that, you
okay.
gotta like do the math on it. Like, are we gonna get enough followers from this where it's
but-
gonna make it worth it? Because if we spend all this money and I get one follower who's actually gonna engage in my stuff,
So it
then
is
it's not
money.
worth
So
it.
it's money.
I mean, yeah, for the most part,
When you have less clout than the person that you're chasing, you are paying them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, for the most part. There are other ways to do it without having to spend money.
Dude.
Like for example, like just doing giveaways with things that you have, or like I've done giveaways for my service. Like where it's going ahead and like
I like that.
You know what's crazy about this? It's like so obvious that I feel like an
Yeah,
idiot.
but no, I don't-
But like hearing it, no, I mean in the sense of like Valentine's Day was created because Romans love a raffle, because pagans love
What's that?
as
That's not
human
obvious. I didn't know that.
beings.
Yeah, I didn't know that
Valentine's Day. We'll do a side note. So basically, the Holy Roman Empire came in. Everyone was pagans. Ugh, gross,
Ew.
godless pagans,
Get outta
fucking
here,
worshing a
pagan.
tree with like 2 dicks, and it's like, but only on Wednesdays when it's sunny.
yeah, I mean,
So
probably the best day.
the Christians were smart though. They were like, let's not just make our own new thing. Let's just augment things that already exist. So a theme that was consistent in Roman culture was a raffle. Romans loved raffles, and it was called the raffle of Saturnalia.
Saturnalia.
Saturnalia is actually Christmas. I'm sorry, but Saturnalia is
Okay,
One
I was
of
about
those
to
is
Google that.
But
Dude.
Saturnalia is Christmas. But during
Saturnalia is
Valentine's
Christmas.
Day, around that same time, they had this raffle where basically the women of a town would put their names into a hat, and the men would pick it, and they would court that woman for the rest of the year.
Wow.
Right? And that was
Lucky,
like a
good lucky gal.
Like I'm saying, or like horrendously ostracized, like or was disgusting, and there was like helmets involved.
And there were helmets involved.
So the Holy Roman Empire, the Christians came in. They were like, we're going to use this, but we want to make our own Christian holiday. So what they did was, instead of women's names, they had saints' names. So you had to emulate the saint that you picked out of the hat. They needed a flagship saint. They have flagship saints for all main holidays. So they're like, we need a saint that has something to do with love.
Oh.
Saint Valentine during Pope Pius the.
Are you making this up?
Look it up.
He
cousin.
could be, but
Yeah,
at the
I
end of
know,
the day, it
that's
sounds
what I'm
interesting.
saying.
So
This is
I think it was
crazy.
Pope Pius. Pope Pius,
sounds-
he outlawed marriage. Listen, he outlawed marriage for the
Okay.
Roman soldiers because if you had a family to go home to, you would
Then
fight.
you would fight- you would wanna run
weaker.
away.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. So he outlawed marriage. Saint Valentine during the time, I believe it was like 680 AD. 452 AD.
now you're getting too specific. I
Sorry,
don't know.
you're right. You're absolutely right. Saint Valentine was a priest that would marry
I'm
soldiers.
on Pope Pius the 12th. Which Pius is this?
This is what I mean. He searched the wrong thing. Search history of Valentine's Day if you want to do
Oh,
something. on the side.
jeez. All right. I'll do
So-
this. I'll do this in post.
So Saint Valentine at the
We'll
time,
do like a pop-up video thing.
Friar Valentine, he would marry Roman soldiers in secret outside the city walls.
Dangerous.
Yeah, he was caught by the emperor.
It's New Groove.
I want to say Cassius because it wasn't Caligula, but it started with a C.
Sounds like a
If you're
powerful
correct on all this stuff,
Cassius was like, I honestly
sounds like he
respect
knows his
your
shit.
wherewithal. I respect your wherewithal, but I'm gonna need you to renounce your whatever the fuck you're
yeah,
doing, you
yeah.
can't. Soldiers can't marry. He said no, and the emperor was like, cool, and he just went and beheaded him in front of everyone. So because of that, cut to 300-400 years later, during the reign of Constantine, when all this shit was changing,
Obviously.
he was like, we'll use Saint Valentine as the flagship saint for our Valentine's Day.
Because he believed in love and
But
he died for it.
But they just hijacked the idea that Romans love raffles.
Bro,
Human
we're gonna
beings
fact check.
love
We're gonna
raffles.
fact check all of that.
I'm just gonna take his word for it.
I know, take my word for
have
it.
to.
And I don't mean to do a dramatic pause, but I gotta pee like a racehorse.
Don't
Yeah,
be like a
go ahead.
racehorse. We'll be right back. All right, Joe's back.
I went to the bathroom. I came back, and
He thought about Pope.
it's like a little bit
Pius.
podcast mode. I have to get into.
Okay,
but I'm
understood.
more
How to
in,
get
like-
into? We're 40
But I'm more
minutes in.
because I'm stopping myself from being just like a normal, interested human being in what you have to say.
Understood.
Because there has to be some like structure to it. But I want to just be like this.
You just want to like listen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I
You
can't
want to be a
just-
listener?
Yeah. I
Yeah,
can't-
you're a
I-
great speaker. I feel like you've given talks places as well. I feel like you're good.
I have, yeah. I've done like little events where like people have come and we've
Okay,
done like
yeah.
a little session on like we did one on like money and things like that and helped people out and also taught them about mindset. I
Okay.
think we called it money and mindset, something like that.
Because I don't. You probably remember we went to high school together. I don't know if we.
Yeah.
We probably talked a couple
Yo,
times.
he has,
said like a couple words.
He has no idea who he is.
I gotta imagine you would know my name. Maybe did you not? You don't remember?
Yeah,
me at all?
I've had you on Facebook for as long
that's
as
what I was
I've
gonna say,
known,
yeah.
so I
He's
definitely
so
know your
nice.
name.
But like,
So inflated.
It's just,
crazy.
it's just
no, yeah,
we haven't talked.
no
like,
at all. We didn't even talk in high school. I don't
Yeah.
think because I think you were a grade above me. But yeah, I was gonna say I feel like I've seen a lot of stuff you've done through Facebook.
Yeah,
And like I think I saw you gave a couple talks and stuff.
yeah.
I
I
wanna
mean,
go-
that's the thing about that's great about like social media. You can kind of, I guess you can say you can peek into people's lives without being a creep.
Yeah.
But are you peeking into their lives or their Facebook?
Right,
life?
that's what I always like.
The
I'm
difference,
always
yeah.
cautious of that.
I gotta say, like honestly, you are at the same time refreshingly honest and
Yeah.
real. And also, probably the reason someone will get scammed in the future
Well,
because you're
because-
you're actually
I'm
real,
authentic,
and
yeah.
then it's like they're
Yeah.
gonna believe someone
Yeah.
else's.
Joe
when they're
brought
not.
up like a point that I didn't even really think about. Like right before we had you on, he's like, "Okay, so you knew him in high
Wait,
school."
can I say what he's about to do? Actually, go ahead.
Go
No, I'm
ahead,
saying,
go ahead,
I'm
go ahead.
saying you brought up a good point. Like you're like, "Yeah, oh,
He
you
slapped
knew
me
him
in the face and he slapped the cigarette out of my mouth.
No, I did. I felt like
and
he
he said,
pissed me off.
he said, you know where you're gonna be during this podcast. Right?
No, but he was like, you haven't talked to him through Facebook. I mean, you haven't talked to him since
Outside
high
of
school.
Facebook, yeah.
And I was like, yeah, but I seen stuff you post.
I'm
dude.
wary
Like,
of people. Okay,
Yeah, but I was like,
Just
that's a
off
good
of-
point because I mean, I guess he could have been making all this stuff up, but
Well, I'm just saying, I don't know.
I mean, that's something that and I don't mean to like pry and like go in on you,
dude, go
but
ahead.
it's because of your experiences.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
you've had traumatic experiences. You've
Yeah.
obviously been scammed before. Obviously been scammed.
It's just like
So and it's not a thing to like be cautious.
Yeah.
So definitely I commend you for that. One of the things that you should be is cautious. It's good to have that. Situation where you put yourself when you're putting yourself in something, you're making sure that you're not stepping in through a door that's on fire on the other side.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean, it's just like unknown. Like I don't know.
it's great that like.
It's annoying that you were right.
Yeah,
I'll tell
right.
you that. It's
yeah,
annoying.
I was like, I fucking told
As
you.
soon as I
It's
said
great
Joe, I
that
was
you're
like,
like,
fuck, he's actually a good guy.
you're an
Damn.
entrepreneur. Yeah, right.
He didn't come here to like slice us
Yeah,
up.
Now you look
and,
like an asshole.
Yeah, we stopped recording.
Just
He's
like every fucking podcast,
we
dude.
stopped recording. He's like, listen, I got a business idea, dude.
You
I
have
need
no
20
idea how
grand."
many episodes, like probably half of them. In the middle of it, I go, "Yo, can you lock the door?" Because
Yeah, I'm like, who's gonna come
"Yo,
into?
lock the door, Vic. Come on,
You
now."
never
Like,
know. You
yeah,
never know.
Exactly.
You never know.
yeah.
Somebody might come through.
Exactly. So that's what I was. But and then he gets annoyed because he knows.
Because I'm like, dude, shut up.
he's like, you don't live in South Central anymore, dude. Like, it's
No,
fine. Yeah.
All right. So I have.
But I was pleasantly. I honestly like. I didn't want to do this.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted to do this whole time.
He was like, I asked my boy. My boy said he's good. So.
Well, yeah, I hit
like,
up
okay,
Lex.
I'm glad your boy said he's good.
I appreciate that. Shout out Lex.
Shout out Lex Pyrex.
Shout out
yeah.
Lex. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I didn't
He
mean
said
to just
because
say-
he knows how I am, and he was just like, he's like, just FaceTime me. And he's like, he's cool. He's about
Imagine
it.
he walks in. You're
does
like,
what he
I'm
says.
FaceTiming Lex. If you try anything.
No, I was like, yo, I said your name. I was like, what about him? He's like, he's cool. He's good. He means what he says. He does what he says.
And you
And
did
I
you
was
say
like,
Jazz?
and my girlfriend Jazz Murillo, she shout out Jazz.
Shout out Jazz.
Her friend you helped with credit. Such
See,
a vague statement.
Yeah.
I'd like to talk about your, if we can cut this.
Yeah.
Your rampant support for the far right. Just kidding. You want to cut that?
That's we're laughing. Well, it
Wait,
could be
wait.
true. It could not be true.
Run an Oxy commercial real quick.
That's
Perfect.
a running joke.
Got it.
I haven't
Yeah.
put one in yet.
I know. We just yeah. But the store in the DR.
Oh, the Dominican Republic, yeah. So that's something that honestly, a lot of the businesses that I have now.
Are you Dominican?
I'm Dominican.
So you have family
My,
there and shit?
my parents are
Yeah,
from
yeah.
there. My mom lives there now. I never would have thought I'd own a supermarket. I never
That's
thought I would have
amazing,
thought
dude.
I'd
That's
have
awesome.
a.
That was a note. Joe's like, he owns a supermarket.
Yeah.
No, I'm like,
Listen,
yeah, I don't know
everything
what to tell
about
you,
this
dude.
man before you meet him is the fakest sounding shit on earth, bro. This is the same guy that stole my $200, dude. And then you meet him, and you're in your head, you're like faced with your own insecurities.
Yeah, I don't know why you're like, dude.
I was
no one
like,
owns a
bro,
supermarket,
I dapped
bro.
Carlos up, and I was like, oh man, you got to look at yourself, huh? All right, later. Cool. Let's have a good conversation.
Oh my god. Yeah. So I mean that it's not like I just came up with it out of
Yeah.
nowhere. Obviously starting a business in a foreign country can be a little complex. And it was something that I actually started not even for monetary gain. It was something that I started because my mom, I'm grateful to say I retired her. She's been
Wow,
living in
good for
Dominican
you, man.
Republic for quite a while.
Good
Is
for
it
you.
weird that I
That's
knew
awesome.
that
Thank you, thank
did
you.
the grocery store for your mom?
Well,
I feel like I knew. I
No.
saw
You
that
saw
on
it on a
Facebook.
Facebook.
No, from the very beginning, I've kind of,
Okay.
that's something for her. So it's never been something really that was,
That's
for me.
So you gave it to your family runs
Yeah,
the store.
Yeah. So
That's fire, dude. Good for
That's
you.
cool.
so she's there on the day to day. I named it after my grandmother.
It's called Stop and Shop.
It's called Supermercado Celeste.
Supermercado. Yeah.
Supermercado Celeste. Yeah. So that means
Yeah.
supermarket Celeste.
That's cool.
And I'm just like really touched by it mainly because it's first off it's doing fucking amazing. So I was there from November of last year to July of this year. Just because I was setting things up, making sure things were in order. There were just particular things that weren't being done.
You're our age.
I'm 32.
Yeah, he's a year older.
So annoying.
Dude, yeah, see, we are haters, and we
that's another year.
You're the type of
In a
person
year,
we would
we'll
look at,
probably-
and we'd be like, dude, this guy,
He's
so annoying,
looping
dude.
me into it. This is not what I do.
Okay.
I hate myself enough.
Nah, man. Listen, at the end of the day, it's one of those things that I like to think that men have financial clocks. And,
Okay.
and the reason why you're like, damn, how old are you?
Yeah.
What are you doing? You
yeah.
know, it's like
That's an interesting way to put it. I like
we
that.
we have to. I think I heard it. I think Steve Harvey said it.
Nah, you
said-
said it. Yeah, you
Hey,
said it.
listen, man. At the end of the day, I said it on this podcast. So that's true.
Yes.
But like he said, or I said in this case, I said
You're gonna do it in the
Steve
movie.
Hovey.
that men have financial clocks and women have biological clocks.
Mm.
And that just means that men want to accomplish things by a particular age, whether it be financially or like where they're at in life.
And like
then-
women can't vote.
and-
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
I think maybe. Yeah.
and that most women, not all women, they want to go ahead and they want to particularly start a family
Yep.
and things of that nature.
I think that's
not
the
all of
pressure
them. Though.
that's put
No,
on
I-
us is that men have a financial clock and women have a biological clock.
Well, I think just based off we used to earn our living physically, so I think it's tied in intrinsically to our physical abilities and that clock on that.
Yeah.
But I mean, my mom ruined that for me. She went back to school when she was
Yeah.
39. She had me at 38 and got her master's with me in the like
In her belly,
in
yeah.
the class,
Oh,
in the class, like I was in the back, like
You
class-
were-
That's why you knew
Bro.
all this Roman stuff, dude.
Bro, because she
You probably
she made me
absorbed
wear
it.
the helmet.
Yeah,
That's
you
what I mean.
absorbed
Yeah,
it.
Yeah, you
that's how I would go to bed. She would go, "This is Sparta," and she would kick me in the chest. And that's how I go. Yeah, but I mean,
Oh
like, so
my
like
God.
I have like this, like I know what people can do
Yeah.
time wise. So in my head, I'm always like, "You got time. Your mom went back to school." Like, but like maybe hurry up a little bit. You know what I mean, dude? Stop dragging your feet.
Yeah, we're classic. I feel like we have so many dreams and we just don't do it, and then we just.
I mean, that's the thing. You got to take action, man. So,
Yeah.
like, you know, like when I first got the idea of starting the supermarket, for instance, the first thing I did is I started working on logos. And although I'm not a graphic designer or anything like that, I feel like going ahead and taking part in things like that allows you to create that
Just
energy.
knowing every aspect of what you're doing.
So then once I went ahead and had it, you know, at least somewhat what I wanted it to look like. Obviously, you send it to a professional, you know, and they can make it look a lot better.
Right.
Yeah.
But you know, just going ahead and just getting started, doing something is what gets the ball rolling. It happens to be across from like a market where like the market they have fresh produce, things like that. So you know, it ended up being something that complemented it really well, and it's doing
You
really
have
well.
canned
That's
vegetables
awesome.
in the DR. I mean, dude, yeah.
No kidding.
I've never been to the DR, but I've been to Cuba, and it was beautiful, dude. It was
Yeah,
the best place I've ever been.
Cuba's similar. They're right next to each other basically. Cuba does have some issues, obviously, with imports because of the embargo. But you know, Dominican Republic.
Yeah, how
know,
was it? The tariffs, the
You know, Cuba and the Dominican Republic, they're very similar in a lot of ways. One of the things that I found, I've been to both countries. In Cuba, you know, they do have some issues as far as getting things imported, obviously, because of the embargo.
Where'd you go in Cuba?
I went to Havana.
Yeah, same.
Yep. So it was cool. You know,
Did you go to,
I wasn't impressed by the food.
Really?
Really?
I wasn't. No. I've had better Cuban food in Miami.
Okay, really? See, I never had. I didn't have that much Cuban food before. I got to say though, my girls in the room, everyone's so thick as a biscuit, dude. It's like, is this your job? Yeah. And there's a lot of dead dogs.
That's their
But
export.
aside from the dead dogs, the other one is thick as a biscuit.
Thicker than a Snicker.
Did you go to what's the guy?
Che Guevara.
Nope.
Che
Writing.
The
He's a writer.
he's a
He's
writer.
a
and he
writer.
shot himself.
Yeah.
Killed himself.
Yep. In Idaho, and his third house. He has one house in Key West, one house in Cuba.
I don't know. I'll
one
never
house in
get it.
Idaho.
I'll never get it.
I don't know.
Once I say his name, you'll be like,
Probably, yeah.
Ernest Hemingway.
Ernest Hemingway.
Yes, dude.
No, I
I
didn't.
went to
did
his
not.
house in Cuba.
Did you?
Yeah, you go there, and like they have the local women, like they're like security or like caretakers of the house.
The local women?
I would assume they were local women. If they flew in Cuban women from somewhere else, that would be crazy. These women were from. They had to be from Cuba. Just
But they
legit.
protect the house?
What? They're
They, like,
protecting Ernest Hemingway's
It's like
house?
so. There's ropes. Like you can go into some of the rooms, but some of the rooms you can't.
Yeah.
And there's women that are like in the house. Like so, if you want to take pictures, like you pay them and then you take a picture.
Okay. So they're just
in there.
workers. They're
Yeah,
workers.
yeah. They're like upkeep. So we're there, and one of the ladies, I'm like, oh, like what is that? Like what is that painting? And it's not a painting. It's a one line in a concrete block. So it's like if someone
line.
stuck their finger. So Picasso used to do one lines.
Ah, yeah.
So it was a one line of a wiener dog by Picasso to Ernest
I remember
Hemingway hanging in a house in Cuba. And I'm like,
fascinating.
what is that? First of all, the fact that Picasso's lifetime is still so confusing to me.
Right.
That he
Don't you
lived
think
at
he
the
lived in
same-
the 1200s?
Yes, dude.
Yeah.
He definitely had a hat on with a feather and a
Yeah.
feather and a hat. But like it's hanging in the wall. There's no doors. Like everything's open. Like there's no. Like how much is that? And they're like we have no idea.
I mean, a great quote that I've heard as far as Picasso is he said that good artists copy and great artists steal. And what I got from that
one.
was
Picasso
that
saying, imagine Picasso saying that to you.
was
Like, shut
that
up.
was that you can go ahead and when you find something that already exists and you make it your own, not necessarily go and steal people's ideas, then you can make things a lot better.
Okay.
I see that.
You don't need to
differently.
reinvent the wheel.
I see it
Okay.
as like don't try to make something better. Appreciate and understand the value something already has.
Yeah.
All right.
And then take it for yourself.
Yeah.
I have a financial question I want to ask you.
Of course.
Because I've been like really trying to find the answer for this, and then
Because
we
we're
can,
50 minutes in,
and then
you
we can,
haven't- yeah.
then we can we can
yeah.
wrap up and you
Yeah.
can promote whatever. Okay, so
but good things. The whatever is
no,
good
the whatever
things.
good whatevers. They're good. All right. So I have a savings, and every month I've been putting money into my savings. But I've been thinking like, oh, I have a job. I'm sorry.
Ouch. This guy says like, I know.
Cold-blooded.
Cold-blooded.
Yeah, that's me, boy. But I feel like
Is that what we're doing? You know you owe me $100, right?
not yet.
Yeah. Why don't you show that, cousin? And I know you're about to ask me for some amounts after this podcast.
All right.
Make it so.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
Anyways,
I need
I
that
thought
for the
we were
rent,
friends.
dude. I'm
That's
really-
crazy. So I feel like a savings account isn't really a good place to keep your money. So I'm wondering if there's a good, like, low risk
Passive.
place to just kind of, like, instead of a savings,
Yeah.
you know, to put your. I don't know if this is your area of expertise.
Yeah. So, I mean, I
or
can't
like a
pro-
high yield savings. I was thinking about, but he's like, that's not enough.
I can't
money.
provide you with financial advice specifically. I
pay
can give
you.
you some examples.
You have to pay it. That's what he's saying right now.
At least on camera.
No
but like
free
it's one
game.
of those things where, I mean,
Or
some people put their money
Let's say
underneath
this.
underneath their couch.
Give him a time period. Let's say 10 years.
Or what's a
10 years.
Give me an example of some safe things to
Yeah,
to
but we have
save
to
it.
we have to put some parameters.
So
on. Let's say a 10-year period.
With investments and your money and savings, obviously a lot of savings accounts that exist that you probably have your account in has probably an annual percentage yield of 0.01% with an
think it's
interest rate of 0.01%.
Yeah.
So like
Gives
you
us
know
so much money to see it.
that's nothing. That's pennies on the dollar. Now you can go ahead and you can put it into like a high yield savings account. But the thing about putting into your money into high yield savings accounts where it might get like a 4 or 5% rate is that usually those particular accounts have requirements.
And these accounts,
So-
are they with smaller institutions? Like
no, it's a
credit-
Citizens
you
has
can
one.
you can get them at
Really?
Citizens.
most institutions, at least nowadays.
Okay.
Yeah.
I always
Some
thought
of the
it had to be
bigger
like a
ones try
credit
to
union or
avoid it.
something.
I was looking at
Credit
Citizens
unions are
has one.
good.
I think
Yeah.
it was like 4% or something.
But yeah, like you can get one at like those type of banks. Some of the larger ones would usually try to avoid
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
things like that because for them it's not worth it, and
don't
you know
need it.
they
That's
have they have a shit ton of clients anyways, so they don't
Yeah,
care.
you don't need your money.
But you know when you do put your money into like a high yield savings account that's like 4%, 5%, which really isn't
It's not
super
that-
high
yeah.
in comparison to some of the things you can put it in.
Compounded annually.
You're looking at requirements that might have like a $2,500 minimum balance, things like that. Otherwise,
amount
they
of
charge you
Fine
fees.
for me.
withdrawals from the account.
So
Yeah,
like
yeah,
if they're charging you fees, then like if you don't have that particular balance, then it might just eat up your savings anyways. You know, so it's important to, you know, come up with a budget, start putting money aside, maybe keeping it in that, you know, low yield savings accounts until it gets to a point where it's able to be transitioned into something that could earn you more money.
So if someone were to have like enough to meet the minimum requirements of a high yield, do you think high yield
No,
savings
give-
accounts are worth it? Or
Give him
like,
a hypothetical.
I mean, so
like,
it
what's the hypothetical?
I mean,
wouldn't
like
be
amount of money
something
and
that
shit.
would be very risky. So yeah, you know, it's
Right.
definitely something that is earning you more on your money than it would.
if you had 10 grand, you put 5 grand in a year for 10 years. What do you put your money in to have the biggest ROI?
You don't put it in a savings account.
You put in the S&P 500, boy.
You put it into something that you know is gonna, you know, earn you a lot more for your money, especially if your risk level is
Aversive, yeah.
if
Well,
your
I'm
risk level
saying-
is
okay.
low, then you know you don't want to.
What do you do? Are there any stocks that do you invest in stocks?
Again, I can't provide you specific financial
Why is
advice.
that? Why?
But
like why? Oh, like because you don't want to provide him specific
doesn't
financial
like-
advice?
no.
just in case?
So I don't have a license. But if
Yeah,
you
but-
went ahead,
Oh,
and,
okay, because you don't.
This is his job.
but if you
Like
went
he's-
ahead and invested in these things and you failed somehow, technically I could
got
be
you.
held
Oh,
liable.
I got you.
okay.
So
Gotcha.
it's not because I don't want to help you guys out.
No, I
It's
get what you
because
mean.
if
Just in
somebody
case.
says, "Oh, you know, like he
No,
told
I
me to
was just
invest in
wondering why the
Apple,"
Because
Yeah,
in
yeah,
your
yeah.
job, you don't tell people. Yeah.
And then I could write on all your reviews. He told me to invest
yeah,
in
so he
this.
told me to invest in
One
Apple, and
star,
Apple
yeah.
is now at
I'm
$0.
not reading this book.
And I lost all my money, and my life savings is gone.
Yeah, okay,
type of thing.
okay.
So
So
that's
can
something
you-
that I could be.
Can you
Gotcha.
speak
That makes
on
sense.
the diversification? Can you speak on what percentage
Yeah,
should go
so
to
I,
what?
I mean, there's different things that you can invest in that aren't as necessarily risky as like just throwing it into a stock.
Yeah.
Especially like penny stocks. People that want to go and like
Yeah.
earn crazy money, they want to go throw crazy money in penny stocks and then they lose all their money.
I've found penny stocks, just to be specific, accessory market penny stocks. I've done pretty well with calls in.
Yeah.
Honestly.
So you're doing options trading.
Yeah. I'll do
Options trading, I made a
calls.
shit ton of money in options trading. And I made, crazy money off of like companies like Wayfair, for instance.
Okay.
Where I went ahead and I did an
what I
options call and spent like $50 on that options call. And it ended up making me about $37,000 in total.
That's all right.
Did you roll it?
So what I did is like, no, I didn't even have to roll it because I had bought it so far out that it was crazy.
Wow. Because you can get them 5-6 years. I mean,
Yep. So I had rolled it out. Not rolled it out, but I had bought it out far out.
Yeah.
And when I had bought it out,
What year did you buy it?
I forget exactly. It was like 2020, and we were in like 20, something like that.
The call was for 2020?
I think
During
something.
COVID.
Yeah. So it went.
got him.
Yeah.
Wow,
So
good
Got
for
him.
you.
it went crazy because like they had
Good
like that
for
whole
you.
thing about like people getting bought in like Wayfair and like being sold as shells and stuff like that. So like there was this whole situation with Wayfair.
Yeah.
Them
remember
supposedly like selling children and things like that.
Yeah. Do you remember that?
So you got a couple kids out of it? Is that what you're saying?
No, absolutely
It's like
not.
legally, I
Gotcha.
cannot
But-
tell you how many kids. I
Same
have.
thing with the
Absolutely not.
financial
But I did make a lot of money off of their stock because it skyrocketed at
Yeah.
one point. So I think I had when I had gotten into it, it was like at like $20 a share, and it ended up hitting like as high as 90.
And you were doing calls as well.
And they were calls, and the intrinsic value more than anything is what really made it jump up because people were just like eating it up.
Yeah.
So like they were buying my calls at whatever price I basically wanted to. So I sold my first one, and my first one I sold it for like I think 2 G's, and right there then I made my money back. Obviously,
You bought it for 50, yeah.
So I went ahead and like just kept them. I was like, this could probably still go a little higher. And if I had probably kept it a little longer, I probably could have made like over $100,000.
All these,
but
they're
I'm
all
happy with what I made.
Yeah. But if you can see the timing, they're all cyclical. Like,
Yeah.
Like especially like the one that I made the most money that I made is called UCO. It was an oil trust.
Yeah.
And I realized like they're engineered to go up and down 5%.
Yeah, history repeats itself.
That's literally.
So,
I mean that they're made to do so. And like, bro, the
you
calls
just got to follow the trend lines.
the calls were kind of big, but I mean, I remember just the small thing of like short sellers sell
Well,
on Friday,
if
like little things
if
like
it
that.
has a higher, premium, it's more likely to
It was-
happen.
Yeah, it was. So I mean, like I meant the first one I bought was $800, and it was like a 4-day call, 3-day call. It was a short call. The next day I made 900, and it was just like that. And that's when I was like, yeah.
Yeah, I don't even.
But the
like,
thing that sucks with those is if you lose the first day, you're fucked because it's all
Yeah.
based off your.
Yeah, so I mean, the
principle.
thing about it is like, and my next book actually that I'm writing is called "What Are My Options." It's a book actually about
Nice.
options trading.
there you go,
So
dude.
it's funny that you mentioned that.
That's nice.
And I'm glad you're fascinated by that type of thing. It's something that I'm not currently doing, but it's something that I made a shit ton of money.
Yeah.
When I had time to do it during COVID, and it's something that one of my mentees. He went ahead and like literally he just quit his job, and now that's all he does.
Before
awesome.
we're getting to the end. Before we end, quick question: Dogecoin.
Dogecoin.
Oh, you.
I mean, so
Anything?
Dogecoin was a hype.
Yeah. Did you make anything on it?
Yeah, I made a shit ton of money on it for no reason.
Fucker, bro.
Joe was about almost.
So
made
I
a
bought
shit-
it.
But I bought it as a joke,
Me
like
too.
like
That's what
most
everyone
people.
did.
Me too.
Yeah.
I bought 95,000 shares for $400 in November of 2020, I think. And I sold it once it hit 10 cents. And I made about $1,200, $1,300. And then 2 months later, it went to 70 cents.
I mean, at the end of the day,
How much would you have made?
About 70 grand.
listen, you
yeah.
made money.
Pretty
That's
good.
what's
I
important.
know.
Yes,
That's
that's,
what I
not
say
how
in the
we
mirror
think,
at
dude.
night.
That's
Yeah,
not how we
I mean,
think. Yeah, I don't even.
If you were to sit there and think about like all the opportunities, all the money,
I would look like this.
If you were to think about all the money you've left on the table
Right,
throughout
yeah,
the
you can't
years,
do
you would
that,
go
yeah.
nuts.
My first stock that I was given by Robinhood was GameStop.
There you go.
And what did I do? I bought a long call for GameStop. And I mean, that's going back like that. I can't calculate it because at that point, the call wasn't even available as an option.
Yeah.
My $6 call was not even on the fucking. So I mean, yeah, you're all right there. You're gonna kick yourself,
Dude, I don't know. Like, I don't even know what to do with my 401k. Like, I have
Doesn't
I have
exist.
no idea what any of that stuff.
So
is.
speaking of all this
It's
stuff,
something
now,
that you should look
you
at.
got a lot
I
of stuff
know,
going on.
That's
Yeah.
what people. I don't know, man.
We're gonna have to wrap up.
Yeah.
We're getting a little late. Carlos, you got a
I'll
lot.
come back. I'll come
No,
back.
Yeah, please.
honestly, absolutely. You got a lot of stuff going on, Carlos. Anything you want to plug at the end of the episode?
Yeah, we need to get
I
into the
mean-
tequila.
Oh, I mean, that's something. Obviously, privilege is something that not everybody has or likes to say they have, for instance, but everybody wants.
I have it.
That skin color, baby.
Sorry. Oh my God.
No, so
Sorry.
that's definitely something that I'm going to play with, especially in ads and things like that.
If you want us to play up the white privilege, we'll do it.
We'll do it, though. We'll
We
do it.
got
We'll
you,
do it.
man.
100%.
I got you.
I'll lose the teeth.
Oh my god.
I already have 2 fake teeth. I can take these
you can
out.
take a
So if
teeth
you
out.
want me to
No.
look like a redneck,
I got a
can.
briefcase around
Yeah, I
here
can
somewhere,
take it. I
dude.
can.
All right, don't. Yeah.
Taxi comes right
Oh,
away.
yeah. Go on.
But yeah, I mean that's obviously something that I'm working on, and it's pretty interesting because I think you'll probably like this since you're like involved in investments and things like that. But one of the things that I intend to do with Privilege, at least, is get local artists involved. So like to create the bottles, at least limited edition ones every year, and they'll be tied to NFCs.
The tequila is called Privilege.
The tequila is called Privilege.
That's fire.
yeah.
Did you want to name it Providence?
It was
Privilege,
gonna
or you
originally
couldn't?
be called Providence Privilege, but there's a company who, like, I think they originate from France. They make wine. It's called Providence. Likelihood of confusion,
Yeah.
and
Providence
I
is a
gotcha.
word. That's ridiculous.
and at the end of the day, privilege. It just sounds better anyway. So
Yeah.
I think I won in that case.
And then people
I'm
might
not
say, you want to
upset.
get the PP tequila? Providence Privilege,
Hey, yo.
So you might have saved yourself.
That's
PPP
true.
loans.
Well, a lot of people are going to jail for that now.
Yeah, I
What
know.
that is, dude. We got a whole nother
Next
episode.
episode, we'll
We
talk
got a whole
about that.
nother
We'll talk
episode
about
we
it.
gotta
Yeah,
do.
yeah.
But long story short, it's something that I think will be very interesting. The NFCs will be basically digital deeds for the art, and essentially what that'll do is it'll allow artists to make revenue on things like Picasso, for instance. His art, once it's sold, after he sold it, he doesn't
Digital
see the money for
deed,
that.
So you can't steal art anymore.
It'll
Is that what
be
an
it,
NFT was?
Yeah, but he's saying. So you're
Oh,
saying
yeah, so
the
I meant NFT,
I know
not
what you meant.
NFC, yeah.
But the NFT is not the art anymore. It's more of a token of the art.
It's like a deed.
it's-
It's a deed for
Yeah,
the
yeah,
art.
the deed is a good
to
word, yeah.
show it that it's authentic.
Yeah.
Because obviously they have a lot of situations
that's
where like
utilizing
now,
just the blockchain, I guess.
yeah. So a lot of people are saying, "Oh, NFTs all went to shit," blah blah blah, that because they're not tied to anything. Nobody gives a fuck about a painting that you can put in the metaverse. At least right now.
But if you
know?
attach it to something
Yeah.
physical, then
So
would
it
have
has
some
a
value.
physical
Gotcha.
counterpart. It has value.
That's interesting.
And the idea is like, okay, this bottle might sell for $50 at retail, and the artist gets 10%. Just as an example to make it easy.
Yeah.
$5.
That's great.
But then, let's say for example, later on down the line, a year later, people like to collect things. So somebody goes ahead and buys that bottle off of Joe Schmo, who bought that bottle. And then they buy it for $100. Now that artist still gets 10% of whatever the transaction is.
Oh,
So
that's
now
a
they
good-
get
yeah.
$10, and then God forbid that artist dies, and all their art goes up in value.
Okay.
Now that artist can leave a legacy behind.
This guy's a
Interesting.
short put on my life.
You got to contribute something.
Well, this was very good. Honestly,
this was great.
Yeah, I really liked our guest. We're gonna give him one more round of applause. Carlos, then everybody.
Appreciate you.
Thank you. And we end the episode in a specific way. Jared, how do we end it, dude?
All right, so you're going to say until next time, and then all of us together are going to go Clam Cakes.
Until next time.
Clam Cakes. Very good. That was a good one.